Well, hello and welcome to Inspiring Moments, the Dr. Amy Show. I am your host, Dr. Amy Himes, and I want to say thank you for joining us today. And on this show, we talk about success strategies and give you tips and techniques to help you to gain knowledge to live a fuller, more prosperous, healthy, and a happy lifestyle. Now, I am a practicing psychologist. I'm an entrepreneur, author, and a success coach, and I specialize in helping individuals to change their mindsets and behavior in order to get on a journey towards reaching your true potential. So our goal on this show is to inspire you to maximize your abilities in order to achieve your life goals and become a success in every area of your life. So we would like for you to consider this show as your portal to success. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that I love sharing with people, and it is how to reset your success set point or your prosperity thermostat. Have you ever heard of that set point or thermostat? Well, let me tell you, if you have big goals and dreams in life and you want to achieve them easier and faster, then you may need to assess and consider resetting your mental success thermostat. And here's what I mean. Picture an air conditioner thermostat that's set at 75 degrees. Now, when the room temperature reaches 76 or higher, what happens? Well, the thermostat kicks on the AC, cooling the room back down to 75. Well, inside of our mind, we have a similar thermostat. Because of all of our preconceived notions, all of our past experiences, all of the training and everything set in by our parents, whether good or bad, it actually sets us up for a certain level of success. And when that level is exceeded, your mental thermostat finds a way to bring you back to the original setting. And there's a direct relationship then between what you strive for in life and what you actually achieve. So if you consciously establish a set thermostat, or a set temperature, I should say, with your internal thermostat, you will automatically adjust towards that set point. So if you have no clear or specific goals, or you don't even have a definition of what success means to you, if you don't have that impressed upon your subconscious mind, then let me tell you, you will continue to go back to the set point or the thermostat that was actually set by someone else in your childhood. Yes, that's what's going to happen. For example, I can remember in my late 20s and early 30s that I had this mental thermostat of earning $50,000 to $60,000 a year. Now, that was what I believed at the time that I could achieve at that particular time. Of course, as a result of that, the job I got, guess what? It paid me right in that range. Then as I got older, my self-perceived value increased as a result of my added education and my added experience. And then I was able to move up to a higher level, to around $75,000 a year. But once again, here's the thing, the job and the salary that I got at that time, and this was probably over 20 years ago, reflected that it was the same job, just a different location. But the only thing that was different was what I thought I was actually worth at the time. And this goes for success in any area of our lives. For example, have you ever lost weight only to gain it all back again? And if you've never done it, think about someone who lost the weight and then gained it all back within a year or two. Actually, we always say they lose weight and then gain it all back plus about 2 pounds. Well, actually what happened then, this may have been due to their success thermostat in reference to weight loss. It was set at a certain weight. Their body was actually set at a certain weight. And when we lose the weight through diet or exercise, it actually registered. What happened back then, it registered the loss, and we did what was necessary to kick things back up to its original setting. So ultimately, your success thermostat is responsible for how much success you can handle in any given area of your life. In both of these examples, the thermostat is the beliefs and the self-image that made you decide what was possible for you, or your deserved income level, or your deserved weight level. So in your mind, you decided, you had the set point, your weight, just say, for example, if it was around 150, you lost 20 pounds, but if your set point is 150, eventually you're gonna ease back up to that weight unless you make some major significant changes. And with all of this, Sigmund Freud, who is known in psychology, he always wrote and said that we will always behave in a way and manifest the things in our lives that are consistent with what we actually believe about ourselves. Now that's very important, and what we believe about ourselves and what we actually believe about the world. So what's very important here to know is that there is no good reason why you should continue to be stuck in any area of your life. If you are, chances are it has a lot to do with your internal programming. You know, I always talk about internal programming here. These are the things that people told you couldn't do, your grandma, your mom, because perhaps they were trying to protect you at the time, and it was appropriate when you were a kid, but unfortunately what happens, we still keep those things in our mind and think that we can't do it, and now we are adults. So again, the way to change the set point is to make conscious changes in your action. There's great news here. I'm telling you, you can change that programming because none of us are stuck with our old programming. You can change it. You can actually change it. You can actually turn the heat up on your career. You can turn the heat up on your relationship and your business or career by changing what you believe about your possibilities. Change the way you think and you can change your life. You can achieve more than you ever thought possible by changing the set point or the temperature on your internal success thermostat. So resetting your success thermostat is a process during which you develop the skills, you take the time to develop the attributes, the attitude, and use some tools and develop the beliefs that you need to make changes in your life and to be able to sustain them. Like the well-known and much talked about strategy we've heard a lot about, most people get stuck in the past. And as I said to you before, I have to go back to it for a moment about being stuck with a certain body weight. So we define ourselves by our body weight. If you look at certain people and look at their stubborn set point, you look at where they are, we also have these internal success set points in our mind. We have these specifics and these set points that's likely to keep us stuck at a familiar and a comfortable level in our lives. So again, I keep saying that because, you know, people who struggle with weight, or if you struggle with making any changes in your life, make a conscious effort that you're going to make a change and then start doing little things towards that every day. And most personal trainers, this is where that whole piece comes from. Most personal trainers tell their clients that in order to adjust their calorie burning capabilities, they need to reset their metabolism or reset their metabolic thermostat. So in a similar way, in order to change the level of success in your life, you need to reset your success thermostat. Chances are, I should say, that where you are in your life right now is exactly where your success thermostat is set to keep you. Yeah, so for most of us, the self-imposed inability to achieve and to sustain what we want in life, or to reach any level of success that we truly deserve, is a result of the limiting decisions we have unconsciously made over the years. Decisions about the world around us, who we are, what we feel comfortable achieving, and what we actually deserve in life. Now, those decisions were influenced. They were influenced by your upbringing, by your early childhood experiences, by your parents and other authority figures in our lives. So in our childhood, Our unconscious mind is wide open for blueprinting and conditioning. In some cases, this openness is a good thing, right? It's a good thing because it helped us to learn structure and to learn new things and try new things. For example, most of us were conditioned to believe that if we played in the streets, what happens? We could get hit by a car, right? So doesn't that help us in our adult life? Well, that conditioning led us not only to avoid street play, but also to look both ways when crossing the road. But sometimes that same conditioning that we received in childhood can be limiting to us in adulthood if you don't make some changes in life. For example, I grew up thinking that having more than you need is a sin. Can you believe that? My dad was a minister and he always said that having more than you need is a sin. Whereas today as an adult, I believe in abundant success. I believe that the world is open for us, and if we take the time to learn how to get it, we can have more. And by having more, guess what then I can do? I can give and help more people. But what happened back then is I was conditioned to think that wealth was for the less fortunate. Can you believe that? Or for those who were born into it, not for good, honest, hardworking people like us. I was born down south, raised down south. And at what temperature do you think that conditioning set my financial success thermostat? Yeah, I had to actually work on changing that, because if we have a set point in any area of our lives, even in finance, we will stay at that level for a very long time. So this is why it's so important that I always tell people to get around other successful people. Find people who are doing well financially, talk to them, spend time with them, find out what road did they take, what are some of the steps that they actually took. Because until you start to make some changes, your set point and your thermostat will remain the same. So it's important to strive towards outcomes and results. If you've been at the same level of income, the same level of fitness and health, or in and out of unsatisfying relationships, let me tell you, it's very likely that your internal thermostat has been determined and set in that area. So it's time for you to make some changes if you want to enhance your relationship, your finances, your career. And one of my coaching clients, this is so important, I love sharing this story. One of my coaching clients was telling me how he felt like he was stuck at a certain salary level of around, I think it was like $50,000. And no matter what he did, he couldn't seem to increase his salary. He would get more training, his credentials grew, but his income stayed roughly the same. And it wasn't until he realized through coaching and counseling that he learned that that same salary level was almost exactly what his father earned while raising 4 kids. And because his father was his model and his guide for how it was done and how you increase your finances, guess what happened? He subconsciously got stuck into that same salary level. And he realized that he was doing the same thing his father did. So once he realized that, then he was able to consciously make some changes. And he was talking about how his salary just went sky high to like $150,000 just because he recognized what was going on in his life. So unconsciously, he was following in the same footstep of his father and earning around the same amount of money. So as you can see, these things really, even if we're not aware of them, they're in the back of our mind, and our subconscious mind controls us in such a great way. So we have to be able to break through to the next level of success. I'm telling you, whether it's increasing your income from where you are now, or increasing it from, I don't know, whatever level you're at, 40, 50, 60,000, to trying to make a 6-figure income or more, or even simply taking the first step of researching what's possible for you to do that would allow you to earn that kind of money. It is possible. You just have to first decide one, that you want to change, and two, take the time to research and learn how to get it done. And if so, more than likely, if you're not able to do that, it's your internal thermostat that's holding you back. And as soon as it senses that you're nearing the breakthrough point, let me tell you what's going to happen. And this comes from the middle of our brain. The amygdala in our limbic system will start to pull you back and start to make you feel uncomfortable. So you have to be able to work through those uncomfortable points. You know, like anything else, when you're changing, you're going to be uncomfortable for a while, right? If you decide to start running, that first week you probably will have pain in your leg, your thighs, and everything else. But you'll notice the next week you'll be able to run that same distance with no pain. And that's because you have changed your set point. And this is the same thing that we do in life. And I speak with my clients all the time. If you are trying for a higher level in your life, if you're trying to grow your business, you want to get promoted on your job, you have to go through that uncomfortable state and then start to make those changes. And what will happen? Your mind will actually catch up and realize that this is not something that she's going to be doing just for a day or just for a week. And then that'll become your norm. And before you know it, you will have another set point. So again, it's very important to let you know that success in any area of your life is important. It's doable. You can do it. You have to start to make changes from the inside out. Now, I hope you know what that means when I say make changes from the inside out, but I'm going to tell you, making changes from the inside out means it's not a physical thing. You have to first start to make changes in your thinking patterns. You have to start to make changes in what you think is possible for yourself. And once you actually start to think it, then you can take steps to make it a reality. So that's why it's so important that I always say you have to explore the beliefs and the emotions that you have within yourself as they relate to whatever goal you're trying to achieve. Because if you do not feel comfortable with the changes, or your emotions are not in line with the changes that you're trying to make, let me tell you, you're not going to be able to achieve them, because you have to think about it first. What you actually think about creates certain emotions and create the way we feel. And then the way we feel, you can actually be able to take action. And the action that you take will then lead you to positive results. Okay, so once you have identified how and why your thermostat was set to where it is now in the first place, then you can begin to work to reset it. So you need to reset that thermostat. And when you do, you can expect greater success even faster. Now, this isn't some theory that I'm telling you about. I help my clients to do this all of the time. You'll be able to achieve your goals much faster and with less effort, because you will be changing the programming in your subconscious mind, and you'll start doing some of the things that you need to do subconsciously, meaning you'll change your habits. You'll start to do things without even thinking about it. And keep this in mind, we all have that voice inside of us playing like a broken record or a tape recorder, telling us what we can't or what we can do. So that's your belief system actually talking to you. I say it's like the ball and chain of a poor self-image, meaning if you think you can't, trust me, you will not be able to achieve it. If you think you can, you'll continue to take steps towards making that happen. So that's something that's very, very important to remember. Whether it's trying to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, or whatever, if you keep telling yourself, I can't do it, then guess what's going to happen? It's going to be too hard, and you're not going to be able to do it. But if you just start to change the self-talk, that the things that you're saying to yourself, you'll be surprised what you will be able to accomplish. So start telling yourself what you can do. I am beautiful. I am a success. You start to say those things to yourself before you actually get to where you want to get to. And I'm sure you are a beautiful or a handsome person already. So just keep in mind that we all have that voice inside of us. Again, it's playing like a broken record of the things that we can or cannot do, but you can change that record. You can change that script by telling yourself what you want it to do. And we call this using affirmations. I wake up every morning and the first thing that I do is start to program in my mind what I'm going to do for that day or what I'm going to do for that month. I am already a success at whatever it is I'm trying to do prior to it actually coming to realization, because I keep telling myself, you are already a success. My first book that came out, I can remember a good year before that book came out, I would just wake up in the morning and just visualize the cover of the book, visualize my name on the bottom, and just start to have those warm feelings about how that made me felt. And also I would just imagine myself being at a book signing. And whenever I would do that in my mind, it would make me smile. But in reality, what it was doing, it was helping me to stay focused and to make the time, even on those late evenings when once you change your set point, those habits, those, actions and everything that we subconsciously do will start to roll and become natural to us. And also it's a very good idea too, when you're trying to change your set point, you want to get yourself a very good role model. And that means get around people who are already doing what you want to do. The worst thing that you can do is to hang around with people who are failure oriented when you're trying to do something great. I don't care if you're a kid, you're a teenager, you're an adult or what. You need to hang around other success minded people. For example, if you're playing soccer and you want to get better at something, do you think you should hang out with the people who just don't care, or other people who are trying to enhance their game? Well, I hope you know the answer to that. You want to hang out with other people who are trying to push themselves just like you. And that's exactly how you can change your set point. And remember, your early childhood scripting may have programmed you in with a lot of negative feelings and assumptions. And your subconscious mind has been agreeing and complying with all of that stuff that's in your mind ever since. So the goal of the subconscious mind is to make whatever you're thinking about become a reality. That's something that's very important that I try to remind you of all of the time. Its goal is to make the things that's on your mind come to reality. So this is very important. When I tell people, you should be focusing only on what you want to achieve. And for so many people, they were programmed to focus on what they don't want instead of what they actually want. Well, let me tell you, the law of attraction and the programming in your mind does not know the difference between good, bad, right, or wrong. It will attract and bring to you what you are focusing on. So here's what you should do. When these negative feelings and these old scripts start playing in your head, you want to say, cancel or stop. Just immediately cancel. That is not my reality. You want to replace those negative thoughts with positive ones, and you want to affirm your ability to achieve your goal. And this is something that's very important. You need to become emotionally involved with achieving your goals. You need to create feelings around it. And that's the only way you're going to succeed at your goals. And just knowing your set point has been predetermined is simply not enough to change it. You have to take action every day. You want to think about it. You want to take action. You want to change your habits around it. Because most people who have been overweight for years, they can see that they're overweight, right? I'm sure they want to change it, but they just don't know how. So hopefully, I hope hearing about this set point will actually encourage you to do more research about it so you can know how to make changes in your life. So let me just ask you before we end the show today, what are some of the things that you want to change in your life? What are some of the things that you probably think you're just right there stuck with at a certain set point? Well, let me tell you, the process involves some very specific steps. The first thing you want to do, you need to identify your current setting and the underlying limiting beliefs that's keeping you where you are. Did somebody tell you something a long time ago that you couldn't achieve this, you couldn't be that, you couldn't do that? You have to identify what's actually holding you back. Let's say your goal is to double your income. Why are you not able to do that over 3 to 5 years? Is it that you're focusing on things that you were that was told to you in the past? Maybe you're focusing on what your parents did. Maybe you're thinking that, well, if I double my income, I'll be making too much money. So you really need to wrap your mind around what money means to you. Money is not necessarily a bad thing. Developing that prosperous mindset is very important because you can definitely help other people. For example, if you still believe that money is hard to come by, or money is evil, or any of those negative things that I've heard people say about money, guess what? You are not going to be able to increase by a significant amount the amount of money that you're actually making and actually get to a point where you can become financially independent. So you want to concentrate on these things. You need to change your set point. I hope you have a very good idea of how your set point probably got set or how it actually came about, but you can definitely change your set point. We're at the end of our show today. It always seems like I never have enough time, but anyway, I want to say thank you for joining us today. If you want more information about how to change your set point, please send me an email at Dr. Amy, that's D-R-A-M-Y, at amyhimes.com, and I will be more than happy to send you articles that I've written and some specific steps of how to actually get it done. So I want to say thank you for joining us today. Thank you to my crew, and a special big thank you to my biggest fan, my dad down in Charleston, South Carolina, my dad. Remember, we create a new tomorrow by what we dream today. I'm Dr. Amy, and we'll see you next time.